start by congratulating you, your sister birthday. How does it make you feel?
Thank you very much,
And
sir.
what's the secret? You don't do 60.
Maybe it's in the blood because even my father at 67, when he died, was was almost like this. So it's like it's in the family. So if you look at Bishop Asaju too, my immediate senior brother, that is a Professor Asaju.
Okay.
You would think he's a 40-year-old man.
Mm.
So it's like that in the family, and we're happy about it.
So how does it make you feel? What are the thoughts? What are the things on your mind? Probably 60.
I it's even very hard for me to believe that I am 60 already because I don't feel it. I don't feel it. Apart from the pressure of trying to find a way of doing things differently, at least to at least give myself to create enough room for me to rest, and then maybe do some other things that will at least assist me in maintaining my daily routine. So apart from that, nothing has actually changed about me.
And looking back, how does it make you feel in terms of accomplishments and things?
Um, I actually thank God that over the years I've been able to build that kind of a bridge between myself and then some people, a kind of a connect with some people that has really assisted me in achieving the much I've achieved in life, and then I give thanks to God, and then it has to do with my upbringing, so that whoever I meet, and the person has any kind of impact in my life, that I should find a way of building that a kind of relationship, and then I think with what I have done over the years and the kind of relationship I've built, that actually paid off on the 8th of October when I had my birthday, because I never expected the kind of the kind of support I received. And in all honesty, to even know that the personal money I committed to the whole thing from my own pocket was less than 100,000, and we are talking about a ceremony that got millions. So I just can't comprehend it. So I thank God for the kind of my kind of upbringing, and then the kind of people and then the support I've gotten over the years. That's
Anyone who knows you closely will know that you have always been someone with a very modest lifestyle. So throwing such a big sister's birthday bash just didn't fall into that pattern of your lifestyle. So
Yes.
why did you decide that you were going to celebrate that particular birthday such a big way?
No, the last one that I celebrated was about 10 years ago, my 50th,
50th.
at a night shift.
Okay.
And then I found out that there were some loopholes. And that day I decided that, okay, those that actually facilitated the whole thing, and then and those that actually impacted my life, that I should at least give back. I have taken so much from people. Let me recognize them too. Let me give back. I thought I was going to give back to them on my birthday, just to be a kind of recognition. But my first editor, the people that actually patterned my life in journalism, just to appreciate them. But I ended up discovering that they were even the people that even mobilized the kind of support I got that day. So, and I am very, very grateful to them again, and I thank God for the kind of turnout and the kind of support I got that day. I mean, it couldn't have been by my own way.
The young Obodos, they spoke glowingly about you.
Yes.
And in this day that politics has polarized the entire nation along religious, ethnic lines and all that, it was beautiful to see, people from such an elitist family from the southeastern part of Nigeria coming down to celebrate a Yoruba personality. Uh, how did your paths meet? Take us through a bit of that.
Okay, I think this was immediately after we left the film and I started the encomium. So I was just like any other reporter, any other journalist. Then there was an invite that was actually sent to us, and then it was brought to my office by now Senator Osita Izunazo, who happens to be the personal assistant at that time to Jim Wobodo. He brought it, and then I was given the assignment. So I covered it, and then that week I think we wrote that story, and to my surprise, I got a call from Jim that he loved the angle I approached the story from, and then that he has sent somebody to me to appreciate me. Well, and that I should give him a call after I might have met with the person, and the call never came because there was nobody came. Nobody came, and then, so about 2 weeks, I think 2 weeks after that, he sent somebody to me again that I haven't gotten across to him. I said because nobody came to see me. So he now said that I should come and see him. So on getting to his Ikoyi residence, he said he sent his token of appreciation to me that he sent somebody. He mentioned the name of the senior journalist to me, who was actually with the news at that time. Because they say I now look at it and say, well, I didn't get anything. No, now that I shouldn't worry. That I should just be coming, and then that if he has any kind of a PR, he'll be giving to me. That was how we started. So it was around that period that I think 1999, no, 2007. In 2007, Jim Obodo was made the coordinator of the Southeast Zone for Obasanjo PDP that time. He said I should come over with his media team. We sat down, and then we now started talking. And every other, he found out that I was the only person with a divergent opinion about the whole thing. So he said, why? I said, from the look of things, Obasanjo doesn't look to me like somebody that he should work with. I told him that much, that he shouldn't accept to be the coordinator. That at the end of the day, that Obasanjo was going to he would regret working for Obasanjo. That was exactly what I said. I now said no, that I should not look at it that way. That Baba has done well. Baba has done this. I said okay. So he won the Southeast for Obasanjo because he coordinated it and they won. But they found out that they lost in the Southwest. But that was the first election before they now took over all the Southwest states, apart from Lagos. So it was after that the problem of Savannah Bank started. So and the wife now called me and said that Dayo, do you know what what we are hearing is not palatable. We understand that Baba is angry with us, and then he has promised that he was going to deal with your father, because he calls Jim my father. He heard, and I said that, but I told you, and so that was how we started the relationship, and then the story of Savannah Bank came and went like that. But what actually happened that time was that the very week Savannah Bank was shut down, Jim Wobodo was in Abuja, and then he attended the same church with Joseph Sanusi, who was the central bank governor. They took the Holy Communion together. It was after Jim had taken that Sanusi took. It was the midnight of that Sunday that the signal was given that the Savannah Bank should be shut. That was how the problem started. And then we mobilized the media and the judiciary. And from the High Court to the Supreme Court, Jim Wobodo never lost any case. But the license was never restored. And that was it. On another instance I'm going to cite was when he had this problem with Unamane, the Chimaroke Unamane. Yes. So I coordinated the media for him in Lagos. So he was the first person to actually see this idea of bringing the whole legislators from and then camping them elsewhere. He brought almost, if not all, the state legislators from Enugu. He brought every one of them to Lagos, and then we harbored them somewhere, and the fight now started. That was when Uwabuzi Ugu, a legislator there that was happens to be very close to Wobodo, escaped assassination, because the hitmen went to his house, but they didn't meet him. He was in Lagos, and then the brother was killed. So I was at the forefront of the whole thing, and then every brief given to me, I delivered for them. So when Bolaige died, I told him what to do, because he was actually very close to Bolaige. You know, when he got married in the late 70s, between 79 and then 81 or so, when he got married to Patricia, okay, Bolaige was actually the best man. Bolaige and Abubakar Remi. So Jim Wobodo had always been playing that card. He was always close to the north and very close to the southwest. So that had always been his style. So it was very difficult. It was very easy for me to latch onto it, and then Jim Wobodo played his part even before the burial and then after the burial. And the way I did the whole thing for him, I think he so much loved it. So he embraced me, and I became part of the family. So until he had to go to Enugu and then things like that. So, but I never gave him the slightest opportunity to doubt me, even when that occasion arose, because a journalist who is of the Igbo stock actually went to them, and then he sold himself to them, and then telling them that he could do the job better. And then Patricia now looked at him and said that you try and convince us. He now said that all the people that are using stuffs for Jim, that I don't appreciate them and I don't do stuff like that. And that day I just felt, I think I was in the KJ. I just said that I just felt the need for me to see Jim, to stop over. I now went to the house. I stopped over. On entering, immediately I entered the sitting room. The wife just stood up as if the wife stood up and said, Dayo, you are here. And I said yes. And this same man now stood up and then embraced me. Said, Asaju, how are you now? You are doing a very nice job. Keep it up. Patricia now said, no, you can't say that. You told us some things about this man. We want you to repeat it before him. You said we shouldn't do anything with things again. The guy couldn't talk again. Afterwards, I just overlooked the whole thing. Though we became friends, but that endeared me the more to them. And then there are occasions that they be doing their caucus meeting, the Igbo people, and then I will be around, and then they will now talk less. The wife will just tell them that, look, if you can't talk because this man is here, it's either you postpone the meeting or you cancel it, because we are not going to tell him to go out. And at the end of the day, he's going to do the ratification. Whatever you say, before we even go to the media, he's going to be part of it. So that was how they accepted me forcefully. And then when the issue of the son's arrest too came up, the late Dr. Ifeanyi Wobodo came up, and when he was arrested, at that point in time, he was a commissioner in Unamani's government.
Okay.
And then he needed to get out of the system, so that you can't be fighting the father, and then the son will be working for you. So he resigned, but Unamani never accepted, and then he now detained him. So when we started the plan. They said that what was that I should come up with something. And I said, see, the best thing for us to do is to look for a lawyer that can drive some kind of a fear into them. That the fear that without any now said that I should suggest somebody. And now said Gani Fawen. I didn't even finish before he said that he just said everybody to Gani's chamber. So I rode with him from Ikoyi straight down to Gani Fawen in his chamber. And luckily for us, we met Gani. Immediately Gani saw him, they embraced. So he told Gani everything. Gani now said that, look, when is the case? He now said, Jim now told him that the case is tomorrow. He said, but can we still make any good today? Jim now said, at all costs, whatever it takes, Chief, I will get you to Enugu. From his chambers, we drove in convoy straight to the airport. On getting to the airport, no flight again. So Jim just said that, okay, now just get me a chartered flight. He told somebody. So they got him I think a 17-seater chartered jet, and then all of us just Gani Fawen, myself, Jim Wobodo, everything, Gani Fawen and his books, everything. That was how we took that flight, and then we got to Enugu unannounced, and it paid us because if they had known that we were coming that day, it should have been another thing. But they wouldn't. It might be the plane wouldn't have landed or something. So we landed there. We were driven straight to our hotels, and then a whole floor was given to Gani and his team of lawyers. So they started, and then the following day we went to the court. And then surprisingly, when the magistrate saw Chief Gani, she was taken aback. Now say, Chief, but this matter is not up to this now. That it shouldn't. No, Gani stood up, and luckily for us that day, we were able to secure that guy on bail. And so that was how I won their trust. And since that time, it has been a roller coaster relationship. When my father died, Jim Obodo drove from Abuja to Kogi State. He was right behind me. And then when we entered the church, the first person he saw was actually the late Chief Sunday Agodi, who was also the chairman of the PDP that time, who also came for my father's burial. So when Agodi saw Jim, now said, Chief, I never knew you were close to Kabiyesi, my father. Now said, no, I was not close to Kabiyesi. In fact, I don't have a relationship with him. It is Dayo. That is my friend. That is why I'm here. So Chief Agodi was, I now prostrated and I greeted him. Now said that, this is your friend? He said yes, because he was thinking somebody, I was like a 17-year-old. He never believed that he had that kind of relationship with him. And then so that was how the whole thing developed. And then up to now, I nurtured it, I sustained it, and the outcome was what happened on the October 8th.
Yes. Take us through your early days in journalism.
Yes.
And why the attraction?
And why
No.
for journalism?
The truth of the matter is that while I was even in the Ola Model School, which happened to be at that point in time was actually the best primary school in Kwara State, I had always known that I was going to end up as a journalist. Because my father happens to be one, and there was no newspaper coming out in this country that didn't get to him. And our house, our home then, from Lokoja, when we started out from Lokoja, and then it was immediately the war broke out that we came to we relocated to Ilorin. Our house was actually, because my father would take the whole floor, the residential would go up, but he made sure that the down floor was usually his office. All the media houses, the New Nigeria, Daily Times, the Standard from Jos, every one of them would stop at my father's office. It was like the hub. in Kwara State, that is Ilorin, then Muritala Mohammed. Ilorin, they will stop there, drop papers for vendors to carry. And then maybe I would have started life as a vendor myself because I was so attracted to journalism and then newspapers. And interestingly, you know, the late General Tunde Idiagbon was actually one of my father's vendor before the war, before the Civil War too. Yes, he branched out from our home. So he lived with us briefly, and then before he went and he became a soldier, and then he went to war. So that is the kind of culture in my family. That time. So you are either a journalist or you must have a very good idea of what is going on in the country. So that was how I started. So immediately when I finished school, I knew I was not caught up for job hunting. I knew it had to be journalism. And then when I finished at NIJ, I knew I was not going to make it in the Guardian. There was no way I was going to make it. So I decided that was the time that Prime People was coming up, and at that point again Prime People and then Climax magazine. I knew the competition to enter Prime People was going to be very stiff, and I didn't want anybody that would give me any kind of problems, because at that point in time I was just managing to stay in Lagos. I wasn't doing my weekends in Lagos. I will finish immediately. I finished my lectures on Friday, off to Ilorin, because I was a typical Ilorin boy. I wasn't staying in Lagos. So what was going to keep me in Lagos was the person I eventually married.
Okay.
But even when I proposed to her, I told her that I was not going to settle in Lagos. So that we go to Ilorin, from Ilorin we go to Jos. That Jos is very cold. It's like outside the country, that we are going to live our life there. So, but there was this day that we now decided that okay, let me start job hunting. I wasn't going to go to the Guardian. I wasn't going to go to Daily Times. I said, and Prime People, the competition will be too much. So Climax was just coming up that time. So myself and one other friend of mine, the late Ayo Familuba, we decided that we should go to Isolo and then just try it out there. So luckily for me, when we entered that day, we met Segun Odegbami, you know, Climax and then complete football. So we met Segun Odegbami. Now he now asked me, he asked for my mission, and I said that Big Sheikh, I'm here to start work. I want to work here. That's it. Without an application, without nothing, we don't even know you. What a way of looking for a job. That is not how you are going to get a job. And moreover, the editor is not even around. He's on leave. Oh, she is on leave. Muji Danisa was the editor then. So now I said that, but there must be a deputy editor now. So that was, they now said that I should wait for Ehi Brahima. Ehi Brahima was the deputy editor then. So that when Ehi Brahima came, I introduced myself. Ayo Familuba to introduce himself. And I said that, okay. He said that, well, I could see the fire in you. You really want to work. So we start. You start as a that I should freelance. So that's that very week, Ayo Familuba and myself, we became freelancers. So the following week, after we had secured ourselves, I went back. There was this third friend of ours who had actually made up his mind that he was going to be a sports reporter, and then he was already going to the National Stadium to familiarize himself with the thing. Yinka Oyekon is now in UK, and now said, Yinka, look, we have started work with Climax, so these sports that you want to be writing, if you start seeing our bylines everywhere, don't say that we didn't tell you, and you just be collecting things that are not worth it. Being a sport writer, just come on board. Let's try this thing together. So the three of us went, and we became like a team. So Yinka was I think Yinka was told to study this guy that was doing horoscope with prime people.
Why
He- he-
you pay also?
Yes, said that Buji Danisa said that Yinka should just focus and then study him, and that Ayo should be handling auditors, the odd words.
Okay.
That so I should be doing society and then news.
Okay.
News. So that was how we started. And then in no time they found out that what I was earning as a freelancer was actually more than what a reporter researcher was earning. So they now employed me. So after about after about a year, I was made a staff writer. So until the cracks started showing from this sport, and then Fudge too came. But before Fudge, Mr. Debo, this additional.
Additional.
No, the one that just left now.
I left presidency.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Additional.
Additional. Additional came before Fudge, and then so. But ultimately, I left. From there, I worked under Ekerete Udo at Whispers, so of Ufuegu. But that one didn't last long before film started. So from there, I crossed over to film. So from film to encomium. So from encomium to first weekly. Yes.
So how has it been since you left?
I just thank God. But the only regret, happens to be what I could say is that maybe I wouldn't say the role I played when during the fame crisis. Maybe if I had applied a little bit of maturity, so things would have been different. Because at that point in time, a lot actually depended on me, and then I took vital decisions, even while the three of them were in their bunkers doing things. But one thing that I didn't do was that I didn't give them any cause to doubt my loyalty, and then I didn't betray them. So they trusted me. They empowered me to handle things in their absence, and I thank God I delivered. But I just hope they hadn't broken the bridge between them and Adesanya hadn't broken, because what I later learned was actually different from the picture painted that time. I thought Adesanya was evil. So if I knew what I knew now, maybe I would have approached the whole thing differently. At least with the kind of respect they had for me and they still have for me. Maybe I would have advised them to approach him, and then if there was going to be any sort of a breakup, it should be an amicable something. So, hey, it should have worked out, and everybody would have been happier, and then things would have been different. Yes, because look at them now, the three of them. In as much as I love the three of them, but I still don't like the kind of relationship they have. It is one thing that is actually bothering me. That was why I tried. I gave the three of them awards, but that was not how we planned it. Maybe Kunle Bakare would have presented the award to Fudge, and Fudge would have presented to Mayo, and things would have been. But that was how we designed it. But God said that maybe the time was not right. But but it's a thing of joy that I could see the three of them, the same hall again, the same venue, and then the three of them celebrating me, and then saying nice things about me. That was the height of the whole thing for me, and I thank God for it. They've been very good, they've been very supportive, and I thank them. But I just wish they could come together. If they can't work together again, they should be brothers. It doesn't take anything away from them. They should be brothers. Fudge is in the 60s, Mayo is in the 60s, KB will soon be 60s. But if KB does, if you are not close to KB, you will know that he's not 60 yet. But he's one brilliant person that journalism can't afford to lose. Particularly it's offset. Just the way we can't afford to lose the publisher. It is a very big shame that Kule Bakare is playing it low now. This is the time we actually need the four of them. KB, Faj, Mayor, and SK. The four of them. I think that will give a different dimension to the whole thing. So, because and that happens to be part of. Because sometime last year, I told Mayor that I was, that one is getting old now. That this idea of me holding forth as the chairman of the League of Soft Cell Publishers, that I was actually toying with the idea of stepping aside after 8 or 9 years. That we should look for one guy to. Mayor said, no, Pierre, just hold it. We know the kind of person you are. We know how you are stabilizing the whole thing, and we know this guy respects you a lot. And then if you leave now, most of them they'll be out of control. You know how you talk to them. You know how you have brought respect to this genre. So it's just hold forth. So that was why I decided that okay, maybe one more year will do. So let me just hang on, and then we now have people that will take over afterwards. But one thing that must be noted is that since we started, and then since I started coordinating, the whole idea of the soft cell people blackmailing has become a thing of the past. We don't hear people saying that we are out there intimidating or harassing people. No. And we have become people that are respected outside, and then I now sleep better. So people now see me in a different format. And to crown it all, the day after my birthday, a popular society woman, really surprising, just gave me a call. She called me. She said that she saw about my birthday, and then she just felt that she needed to pray for me. After praying for me, she now said, please, I should just do her the honor of sending her my account detail. That she needed to appreciate me for something that I did for her long ago, and she sent me her own contribution. This is what I live for, and this is what I'm all about. I might not have the whole world, but the kind of contentment I have, you cannot measure it. And that is what my journey has done for me.
Let me ask you, what's your view of the industry, especially the social media, the effect that's had on our practice?
Thank God, some boys are I wouldn't know, to be honest. But the truth of the matter is that I think it was better when we were doing things the way we were doing it. But now, the kind of things I read sadden my mind. You will see, it is not that a photojournalist cannot make a good publisher. No, I'm not saying that. So, but you see people that are lacking in experience, people that have never coordinated the newsroom, people that have never really done anything tangible in the media, people that don't even know anything about journalism, playing the kind of role they are playing in the industry. And then they will say they are journalists or they are of software. No, but we know people that we train, and we know how they are operating, and we still talk to them. Those that are on the loose now are people that are ill trained, or half trained or not trained at all. So that is that. The social media, they have their own, they've made their own impact, but what's the kind of impact they have made in the society and in this industry? I have my reservation.
And there's this debate whether the print will survive the attacks coming from, or the challenge coming from social media. How do you weigh it? What's your take on that debate?
See, it cannot go, it cannot get low, it cannot go lower than this. So the print will come back. Yes, it's just, we are just following the trend for now. It will get to a point that everything will be saturated, and people will still want to read what is documented. People will still want to read the print. We will come back. That I am 100% sure of. It is not the end of the print industry. No. So those of us that are on break now, I know we will come back. We will come back.
Let's talk about your pedigree. I know you come from a family that is big. I mean, the Asaju family is a reputable and illustrious family. Tell us a bit about the richness of that is well known, and you just mentioned one or two, three of your brothers now. Can you tell us a bit about?
Okay. Let me start with my grandfather.
Okay.
Also, my grandfather was a prominent city player in Lagos. He was prominent, and he was at a point in time like the secretary of Abbot Macaulay, very, very close. And then at that point in time, he actually had a street named after him in Lagos there. But with time now, we are not Lagosians now. Everything has been taken over. Before he became a king. So after that,
Sorry, what's the title of his?
No, he became a king of Ayetoro Gbede.
Okay.
In Kogi State. Okay. So, but my father became the king of that is later Oluyara of Iyara. We are actually from Iyara. So my father was a foremost journalist and the first president of the Nigerian Union of Journalists. So he played his part very well. And then the most senior of my brother is Mr. Joseph Bamidele Babatunde Asaju. So he was actually based in the US for a long time, and then I think he's back home now. So the second one is a surveyor, Shegun. Then Bishop Asaju, Professor Asaju is actually the third. I am the fourth in line. Then Mrs. Yemisi Oyebo, who just retired from as a manager with First Bank. Then we have Rachel Asaju, she's in America. Yomi works with the US Embassy. So we have Toyin is in Canada. She's a journalist too. She was formerly with LTV, MITV. So and then so in the family, we used to be 16. We lost one. So but we used to have Kida because the first Kida, the first 11, we are the first 11, then the younger ones. So that is that. But
any regrets in life? Looking back,
maybe the early stage of my life, I toyed with the idea of quitting at maybe 1 or 2 points in time, because when I started the first assignment I was given actually scared the hell out of me. There was this guy that was Ganifa when he is a cousin. I think he used to be with the US Marine. So and then he had an accident that actually paralyzed him from the waist down. And then he was deported from the US to Nigeria. So this man would every morning he will wheel his chair, he will go from his Egbeda home, he will go to the front of a US embassy. And then he was always there and then protesting. So the day I was asked to go, that I was told that I think Muji said I should go and interview the man. So I went to the US Embassy. I didn't see him that day, but they said they hadn't seen the man for about a week, that I should go to his house. So I got the link to his house. I went to his house. Luckily, I met him. I met him, but the kind of figure I saw was not pleasant. Right, the hostility started showing immediately I entered. So I knew I dare not introduce myself as a journalist. So I told him I need that I was looking for a house, and then I just came to inquire if there was a vacancy in the house, and then he said no. And then I now said that since this man could talk, that maybe I should find a way of starting a conversation with him. Lo and behold, he just told me that he knew I was around for a different mission. That if I didn't get out of the house, that he was going to shoot me. I had to jump the fence that day. That one scared the daylight out of me. I said, would I continue like this? But afterwards, I was told it was part of the hazard of journalism. Okay, so we continue. So, but another one was this one actually happened in Canada. I went on tour with Shino Peters, and then we were in Vancouver. That day, then they hosted us to a breakfast or something. We were there, and then this man just came, a society man. I didn't recognize him at first. So later we got talking, and they now introduced us. They said, okay, some journalists are with us. These are the band boys. And after that, our journalists in Nigeria, I hate them. I don't, and there's a particular one that I have been looking for. Who said Dayo Asaju? And I said, if I what now? So now he introduced himself to us later. Then this Siliki Hotel, and then because I was always writing about him, but I never knew there was going to be a consequence for that. Then that thing, the consequence was waiting for me that day. So Shino Peters had to invite both of us to his hotel room, and then he now introduced me properly to him. He said, no, he's doing his job. This is Dayo Asaju. Until the man just started laughing. I didn't collect your wife now. Why is it only me? Why not look for another person to write? So ultimately we became friends. Also, and on like that. But I thank God I was able to survive all those ones. But the merits far outweigh the demerits, and then I thank God what journalism has done for me, and then no regret going into the profession. No regret at all.
Thank you very much.
Maybe I should ask this very last question. As the president, how do you, how easy or difficult has it been for you to handle a lot of young reporters who call themselves bloggers, they also call themselves journalists, right? And then they still use their platform to intimidate people. You mentioned earlier that has reduced
drastically.
It's still there.
He's still there.
So, but for professionals like us, it saddens us when we see these things happen over and over again. So, how challenging has it been for you? Putting them in check.
You see, if you look at it very well, you are either an offshoot of city people, you are either an offshoot or a former employee of other city people, fame, global excellence, encomium. So it had, based on that, I found it very easy for me to reach out to those that have that pedigree. And at times I get calls that okay, please, this story is not true, and this guy, we've been telling him to pull the story down, and then they are finding it very difficult. I now put my goodwill on the line. I will call such such a publisher, if I may say. So I will call them and then I will appeal to them, and they normally listen to me. They normally, it is very no. I have not seen a single one that has gone out of his way to make any stupid demand of me. At the end of the day, I might appreciate them for what they have done and then give them credit. But I relate with them like colleagues. And it is now that they are even realizing that I'm a little bit advanced in age. But I bring myself down to their level and then I relate very well with them. And then those that are even outside the union of the league, they sought my blessing before starting their own. And I told them they will be like it's sort of a subsidiary, they will be under us, but they are independent. They can act, but anytime they act out of line, they go out of line, I will step in and then I will caution them, and that I have been doing, and then they have never had any problem with them. So, but anybody that has any problem, any form of unpleasant situation with any of them, I just employ them to get in touch with us. We have a way of bringing them back and then talking to them. This profession is a noble profession, and then there will always be sanity.